those are the messages that I'm looking for. So I say search, and there you go. In about 2 seconds, it's brought back 123 email messages with OEM in the subject. Right? Now I can fine tune this further. I can say I'm looking only for inquiries. Right? So OEM inquiry. There you go. That is 9 messages. If you want to expand them, you just simply do that. It'll expand. And then let's say that I'm only looking for those which have PDF inquiries, and there you go. I found it. So here is a way where you can search across multiple archives at the same time, which is something you have in FewClicks Retro, but you don't have in FewClicks Unity. So basically, the basic functionality is the same. FewClicks Retro is in a tab by itself, but has some extra functionality because of the fact that it's an application bundled into the Notes environment rather than a plugin inside the Notes mailbox. Okay. So let me switch back to my website. So it's very simple. You simply go, you select the operating system that you use. Once you do that, it'll ask you for the version. So you select the version. In case you don't know how to find the version, it'll tell you how to. Then it'll ask you to select the specific version of 852 that you're using. So let's say in this case you're using 852 with the FixPack 2. You say yes, that's the one I have, and there you go. So here it is. You simply save this file, and once you've saved it, you go back to your Notes mailbox, and you open up your widgets icon here, sorry, your widgets pane, and you simply drag and drop that particular, it's an NSF file, into your widgets pane right here, and that's it. It takes about 2 minutes, and it automatically installs. So that's how you do it. So and that's pretty much the same way both Unity and Retro work. So feel free to try it, and do let us know if you have any feedback. We have a feedback capability on the website, or you of course can contact GBS if you're interested in pricing and how to purchase it for either all of your users or a set of users within the enterprise. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to take them at this point.
Thanks, Raveen. One of the questions that came through while you were presenting was, can you use a combination of the retro and the embedded version of FewClicks?
Yes, you can, just like I was doing right there. So I can use both Unity and Retro on my mail client at the same time.
Okay. If anybody has any other questions, I encourage you to use the question and answer section to communicate those to us while we have Raveen on the line. If you need to digest this or review it before you can come up with any questions, that's fine too. You can always email us at info@gbs.com. That's info@gbs.com, and we'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have subsequent to this webinar. The webinar is being recorded, and the presentation file that Raveen walked us through will be made available in the coming days, and everyone who registered for this session will receive that via email, so you can very easily review it and share it with your colleagues and get them on board with how much FewClicks can save them with time and money. I'm not seeing any other questions coming through.
One of the questions that normally people have is, where does FewClicks index? How does FewClicks index the mail file, and where is that index stored? I'm sure you guys possibly are thinking about this. So what FewClicks does, it works a little differently from the Lotus Notes full text index. As you know, Lotus Notes, the full text index is stored on the server, and typically can occupy between anywhere between 50 to 80% of the size of your mailbox, which is why most enterprises do not enable the full text index for all their users. FewClicks, on the other hand, stores the index locally, and we have a proprietary indexing mechanism that basically is very efficient. Your mailbox, your index size will be between 10 to 30% of the size of your mailbox, and because that index is available locally on your machine, few clicks is much quicker, and irrespective of the size of your mailbox or of the number of attachments or email messages that you have, few clicks Unity will still return results in seconds or less than a second. I hope that was helpful.
A question did come through while you were speaking, Raveen. The question is, to deploy into a production environment, is there a need to sign few clicks with an approved signing agent ID?
No, not required. What you will need to do if you want to deploy it in a production environment is you can do it in 2 or 3 different ways. One, you can use the same method that I just showed you. So all of the users can be sent the link. It can even be an internal link hosted on your own server, and they simply drag and drop the widget into their widgets pane, and it installs by itself. And because it doesn't install on the server, it doesn't install anything on the server or in any way modify your mailbox or your email template. It basically doesn't sound off any of the typical security alarms that would go off when you're installing a software product. The other way you could do it is basically we have something called the FewClicks Enterprise NSF installer. So you can basically host that on your Domino server or on a server that all of your users have access to, and then use that product to send out the software to all of the users. And in this case, it's a little easier because the users don't have to accept an end user license agreement and so on. They simply pick it off that NSF and install it.
Okay, the subsequent question to that was a little bit of confusion. So it works alongside the mail file, or does it modify the NSF, or?
No, it does not modify the NSF. The only thing it does is it writes an entry into the Notes INI file so that the plugin gets deployed. That's about the only thing it does. Apart from that, it stores the index and all its files in a separate folder called FewClicks. So it does not modify your NSF in any way.
Are there any ECL or ACL adjustments that would need to be made to make it work?
No, not at all. Again, because it's integrated into the Lotus Notes client, it automatically adopts the ACL. So, for example, if you've installed it on a client, on a machine, it basically will work only with mail files that the particular user has access to, right? So if that ID file can open a particular mailbox, FewClicks will also be able to index that mailbox and work. If you can't open a particular mailbox, FewClicks will not work on that mailbox for you.
Okay, great. I'll give everyone a chance to ask any other questions that they might have before we wrap up. While we're waiting for that, I just wanted to give a plug for the next webinar in our series. Tomorrow we're going to be walking through the 5 key gains for using CRM within your organization. So we encourage you, if you have a need for that, to please register, or if you want to check out some of our other productivity-oriented webinars this month, you can find them all listed on our website at gbs.com, and just go to the events page, gbs.com/events, and you will find a list of all of our productivity-themed webinars for this month. We do record all our webinars, so there's also, if you missed one that already occurred, you can always view the recording, which is where this one will also be stored once we're finished with it today. I'm not seeing any other questions coming through, but I do want to thank everyone for spending time with us today. If you do, as I said earlier, have any other questions, please feel free to email us at info@gbs.com, and we'll be happy to address those questions for you. The recording and the presentation will be made available for your review. Thank you all for joining us. Thank Raveen for taking the time to walk us through today. And I want to thank everyone again and hope to see you on a future group talk.
And that concludes this edition of Group Talk. Thanks for watching. To engage in conversations with us, visit twitter.com/gbsknows. To stay up to date, like us on Facebook at facebook.com/joingbs. And to watch entertaining and informative videos, visit youtube.com/gbsknows. And don't forget, visit our website and send us an email at gbs.com and info@gbs.com. Thanks again.